Hello friends and welcome to Desi TV Australia. This is Aarti and joining us today is Vic Alhadeff, the new chair of CRC. So let's talk to Vic and find out a bit more about his new role. Vic, first of all, a very warm welcome to Desi TV Australia.
Thank you, Aarti. It's an absolute pleasure to be on the program.
Great. Tell me, what motivated you to apply or to become the chair of CRC?
Both my working career and my personal career have combined to bring me to this point. My grandparents were murdered in the Holocaust by Nazi Germany. They came from Rhodes Island, which is the Greek islands, was Italian, and they were murdered by the Nazis. I worked as a senior editor on a newspaper called the Cape Times in Cape Town, South Africa. It was during the apartheid era. It was a strongly anti-apartheid newspaper. So I had direct experience with two of the worst examples of racial hatred in history. The Holocaust on one hand, apartheid South Africa on the other. As a kid in boarding school in Zimbabwe, I used to get swastikas on my locker. So I was very aware of racial hatred. I worked on the Cape Times, and then I came to this great country 25 years ago, where I was editor of the Australian Jewish News, and then became CEO of the New South Wales Jewish Board of Deputies. In all of those roles, my task was about promoting social inclusion through the prism of the Jewish experience. When the position of the Community Relations Commission came up, I saw that as taking my work to a higher platform, as working for social inclusion through everyone's experience. No matter what color you may be, what faith you may bring to the table, you have the right to be who you are, to practice your faith and your cultures, as long as it's within the laws of the country. So I saw the Community Relations Commission as exquisitely positioned to work towards that goal, and I was very excited to put my hand up and extremely honored to be offered the position.
Great. So tell me a bit more about your role, what you'll be doing as a chair for the CRC.
The Community Relations Commission's task as promoting multiculturalism in this country. It's about closing the gap between those who say you're either Australian or you come from a cultural background. It's making the point that if you are not indigenous to this country, you are an immigrant. No matter where you came from 190 different countries, we are all immigrants if we are not indigenous. And that is what makes Australia the great country that it is. And it's the overwhelming harmony within that diversity which gives us the strength that it gives us. Every now and again, the wheels fall off. Every now and again, terrible things happen. And in recent weeks, we saw some appalling incidents affecting young girls. Terrible incidents. And we need, as a society, need to work to try and prevent that happening. And one of the effective ways of working towards that is working for intercultural harmony, respect for difference, embracing diversity. And that is what the work of the Community Relations Commission is all about.
So what's your vision for the CRC, and do you believe you will be able to make it?
My vision is those aims which I've just articulated, about getting people who are Anglo-Australians to respect everybody else as Australian, and at the same time getting those of us who did come from cultural backgrounds to identify as Australian. We not only hold on to our backgrounds, what makes us different, and we embrace it, which as we should. At the same time, it's important to embrace Australian values so that we are all Australian, we all identify as Australian, while celebrating what makes us different. Is it possible? It absolutely is possible, but it's a continuing work in progress, and it's one that we have to continue working at for all time.
Wonderful. Vic, any message that you would like to give to all your viewers watching you on Desi TV Australia?
Absolutely. The Indian community is one of the growing and valued communities of this country. There were some terrible incidents of racism against Indian people, particularly students, university students, and others some years ago, mainly in Melbourne, but also certainly here in Sydney. Hopefully those will never happen again. One incident is one too many. And hopefully those will be something of the past, and that we have all learned from that. So a message to the Indian community of Australia and to the viewers is that the Indian community is a valued community, is a growing community. The trade between India and Australia is growing, and Indian immigration to this country and university students are one of the highest numbers in terms of demographics. So I greatly look forward to working with the Indian leadership in Australia and working together to make this country the greatest country on the planet, which I believe it already is.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Vic. We wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much for having me on the program, Martin.
Thank you.